check. Check. Double check. Triple check. What's going on, everybody? It's me, Evan Prince. You see it. You see the tagline on the... man, this shirt does not look good on stream. I should have worn something else. Maybe I will, actually. Maybe I'll just go put on a different shirt. Something that looks more flattering on stream, or like a hoodie or something. Here, have some more Dark Forces music. Hang on, let me say hello to everybody. Abduelo, good afternoon, Prince. In a rare moment, I get to catch you live while I'm not working. Welcome! Welcome to the stream. John SW, good to see you. Dizzy Lane, always on the ball. Japio, good to have you. Mask Ranger, hey. Hey. The real Rogue One /Android, that's right. Dark Forces, we're getting into it. I'm going to put on a better shirt because I don't like the way this looks on stream. What's up, Hammond? Give me like 5 seconds. Listen to some Dark Forces music. Okay, how's everybody doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Dark Forces time. One of the best Star Wars games of all time. Severely underrated. I'm excited about it. I'm excited to play it. I've played it on stream before. I've done, a retrospective video on it. So you might be asking, why am I streaming it again? Because I want to. Because I want to play Dark Forces. And also, I'm probably just going to play through the entirety of the Jedi Knight Dark Forces series on stream chronologically. And I have another channel up. I just started it. It's called Evan Prince Arcade. I haven't uploaded anything on it, but my idea is I'm going to play through games, stuff all the playthroughs together, and release them in one big video on Evan Prince Arcade, so people can just rewatch me playing through it. You guys like when I twirl my mustache? Preparing for my villain arc to become a mustache twirler. Yes, quite. Vanilla or map pack? We'll probably do it all. I don't know how much of it we'll do tonight. Dark Forces is a pretty short game, so I was figuring we would probably split it today and tomorrow before moving into Dark Forces 2, but we might just do 3 days. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Let's play some Dark Forces. Okay. All right. That's my delicious G Fuel. Code Evan Prince for 10% off. What's up, Ghost Fixer? Alright. Star Wars Dark Forces. 6. Alright, everybody. Star Wars Dark Forces Remaster by Night Dive. We're going to play through it chronologically. I mean, I've beaten the game a billion times. We're going to start with the classic secret base. Welcome AT Machine. Mission. We'll just do it on medium. Do I want that to be the crosshair? Let's see if I can change it up. Yeah, let's go with green. I want something crazy. I'm leaning towards that. I like that. Oh, yeah, that's cool. If you're interested, former LucasArts developer Aaron Giles has developed an emulator called Green, which can run Jedi Knight with OG graphics and 3D acceleration. That is interesting. I don't know. That's one thing I was probably going to the from General Tantor. We'll see. Fast it was. This is the game audio is up now. Okay. Thank you for telling me that. Because I want it to be proper. I'm going to turn the game audio down a little bit. We're going to start over from scratch because I plan on reposting this. Let's do 5. All right, let's try this. Oh, 20% off. 20% off G Fuel. Evan prints off. The words I'm saying are not making any sense. All right, let's try it again. I turned the audio down, and we're in. So I know that when I saw that Rogue One was being announced and it was about the Death Star plans, I had this deep feeling of resentment and frustration because I already liked this being the origin of the Death Star plans. Now, granted, technically the Death Star plans were stolen by several people in several different instances because they were split up. So Kyle only stole a piece of the Death Star plans. But I forget what there's like some Death Star plans or something. Sorry to hear what's coming against. Here, let me just turn my mic up. The game does have audio sliders, but just put everything down to 59, I guess, since 60 apparently isn't an option. Let's see if that helps at all. What the fuck is going on? Why can you barely hear me? It's not that loud on my end, and my mic is clipping. Like it's mic audio is loud. Check, check, check. It's clipping on my end. The game audio is not loud at all. It's very strange. Maybe I can just turn my mic audio up some more. Check, check, check. That is so frustrating because now I'm going to have to like edit the fuck out of this to make it work. Let's just turn this way the fuck down. We're going down to this. Going down to this. Whatever. Okay, how's this? Andor Season 2 even had Cassian Andor's Briar pistol being modded into a rifle. Like how Kyle's Briar pistol was cut down rifle originally. Wow. I didn't know they did that. Why didn't they just make a Dark Forces show? I don't get it. I haven't seen Andor. It didn't really interest me all that much. I've heard it's good. I don't really care about it. What I don't understand is why did they go to just make a Dark Forces show? You had Dark Troopers in Mandalorian Season 2. You have Kyle's Briar pistol in Andor. Without getting buried by the game. Okay, well that's good. Like, why are we just... It's excellent, the best Star Wars since Empire Strikes Back. Ah, man, I'm just not interested at all in that. I'll be honest. The Rebellion versus the Empire portion of Star Wars is the least interesting plotline to me. Because we've seen it a billion times across a billion different mediums. Every other video game, every other movie, it's ragtag quirky resistance takes on tyrannical empire, bad guy, good guy. It's fine. It's a good story, but how many times have I seen it at this point? Like, that's not the interesting part. I'm much more interested in, like, the Jedi, Dark Jedi stuff, the philosophical and religious differences, I really like the prequels because it's like how the tyrannical empire comes to power, which is a lot more interesting to me than insert bad guy, tyrannical bad guys, and then ragtag. I'm not interested at all in Andor. Like, I'm sure it's the highest quality writing. I'm sure it's the highest quality show. They spent almost $1 billion on it, so it fucking better be the highest quality. But I'm just not very compelled by that storyline. That's why Kathleen Kennedy said we have no sources to draw from when talking about the sequels because they threw out the old extended canon. Terrible. That is a decision they'll be regretting. Actually, they probably don't regret it, but it was just a terrible decision. The prequels are nowhere near as good as the original trilogy IMO. I don't agree with that at all, brother. I mean, of course, everyone's welcome to their opinion. But I much prefer the prequels. At the very least, I prefer the prequels over A New Hope and Return of the Jedi. I'm into fitness, right? What are your goals, like mass, strength, etc.? Oh, good question, man. Thank you for the good question after that 55. My goals, fitness-wise, right now I'm kind of, I'm not gonna. I mean, I went to the gym today, but I'm having some issues with my car, so it's gonna be hard for me to consistently go to the gym like I want to. But once I get situation resolved, my main goals are mass plus strength. I mean, I would like to get some aesthetic. I would like to be toned and have abs and all of that. Who doesn't, right? But that's probably later down the line. What I really want to do is get just massive, huge arms, huge chest. Not just for Star Wars movies. I need to watch more movies. Brother, if you knew how many movies I'd seen. I have peculiar taste. I know that. I've been told many times that I have unusual taste in movies, but I've seen thousands of films. Like, more than the average person. I have seen so many movies. Actually, I think the problem is that I've seen so many movies. I think it's the opposite. I think it's easier to like the original trilogy more if you've seen less movies, because when you've seen more movies, you realize the vast majority of films are just A New Hope and Return of the Jedi. The overwhelming majority of films are just that. Now, they can be that to varying degrees of quality, but they're still just that. Whereas there's really nothing else like the prequel trilogy. You could say, but the bad dialogue doesn't matter. I don't care about the dialogue. I care about how interesting the concept is. I care about how interesting the plot and the characters are. But the dialogue, well, I care about the choreography and the setting and the world building. But the dialogue, you got it. I'm not interested. You know what I'm saying? Dialogue is not great. It's never been great. If you saw the original dialogue for the original trilogy, it was also bad. It was also really stiff. A lot of that dialogue was saved by Harrison Ford and Mark Hamill and Alec Guinness all basically forcing George to let them relax it a bit. But none of the actors had that kind of say-so in the prequel trilogy. Where do I fucking go? I feel like it's right in front of me. This happens every time I play this game. Nice man, keep at it. I'm working on the V-tape. Oh, dude, I'm a long way away from worrying about the V-taper right now. I had it at one time, but no, I'm all about. I just need to get as physically imposing as possible. Oh, here we go. That's why I always miss it. It's kind of obfuscating. Go for high protein and vitamins and low carbs, not carbs. Well, once I get my diet cleaned up, I want to do mostly meat and protein. So eggs, ground beef, steaks. I gotta get a few things rectified first, though. Also, because the old EU stuff they are reintroducing is 20% more different from original, they don't have to credit or pay old, right? Is that true? All of these expanded universe books that they're re-releasing as Legends, The authors aren't... I guess that would make sense because they got paid one time. So, why would you pay them again? They're not writing the book again, but still, dang. There they are. The Death Star plans.
This is too easy. Now to get to my ship.
Or at least a portion of them. There we go. It's a valid opinion, I think, to not love the prequels. But I think, for the most part, when people don't understand why people do like the prequels, it's because you have to overlook a lot of stuff. Which is fine for me. It's easy for me to overlook flaws and find the good. Oh, next mission. No. Next mission. Very sensitive mouse right here.
Kyle delivers the plans to the Rebel Alliance. Soon afterwards,
I meant for when they reintroduce EU characters or concepts in new Star Wars media.
Another sinister plot is set in motion that will become an even
that's also
greater
true.
concern
Yeah,
for the
I
rebels.
thought about that. From what I know, it's not just dialogue, though. It's how it's delivered. The original trilogy appears to hide it better due to writing assistance. People say Lucas is a better director than writer. It depends on how you define writer.
The Emperor has approved your test demonstration, General.
And I think another big part of the problem...
Thank you, Lord Vader. What I unveil today will mark a new era for the Empire.
General
We will be able
Mock.
to decimate the rebels just as we did the Jedi Knights. At last, the Emperor's
The
war
Jedi
will be filled
Knights.
only with the glory and beauty of decisive victory.
A noble cause, General. I hope the demonstration...
This has all
lives
been
up to
reanimated
your
by
praise.
With pleasure.
Night Dive. They did a beautiful job.
Trooper released.
There's those Dark Trooper models. So cool. Another thing I think people tend to not realize is if you watch the Star Wars movies, particularly the prequel trilogy, if you watch the prequel trilogy like another movie, like another... who was it that said I need to watch more movies? At Machine? Yeah. So you're saying I need to watch more movies because you're putting the Star Wars films in like the same category as like all the different types of movies. Those movies aren't trying to be modern good movies. They're trying to like reflect old Greek tragedies. Like it's if you read a Greek myth and you were like reading the dialogue between some of the Greek gods and you were thinking, wow, this is stiff. Like this isn't naturally how people talk in contemporary. Well, it's because it's like an ancient tragedy. That's what he was going for.
Lord Vader.
It's not. Those movies are meant to be watched more like a stage play of an ancient tragedy. I mean, it says the movie opens on a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Thank you, Commander, for responding.
Lucas needs his vision honed in. The prequels prove that when he has 100% control, it makes for a messy product. He needs people to wrangle his ideas, which he hated, but it results in a better story. I would argue that that's not entirely true. I genuinely don't think that the original trilogy has better stories than the prequel trilogy. The prequel trilogy actually has some incredible world building, storytelling, just absolutely beautiful callbacks between those three movies and reflections of the original trilogy. People get caught up on the fact that Jar Jar is not funny, and he wants to be. People get caught up on the fact that Attack of the Clones has some stiff acting, but the fact is, the writing in those movies, outside of some of the dialogue delivery, which I think is excusable given that it's set in an entirely different galaxy a long time ago, so we don't know what their vernacular would quite be like, but even throwing away that mild justification, I think the actual storytelling and the plot line and the characters of those films are absolutely beautiful. I'm a staunch prequel defender. Given the chance, would you clone yourself? It would depend entirely on how reliable the cloning process was. Welcome to the stream, Rodolfo. Hi there. Soundwave Sam, what's up, brother? Welcome to the stream.
Stormtrooper that can take out a rebel base that quickly? I should have kept working for the Empire.
The Rebel Command is not taking this lightly. They have authorized me to hire you to find out if there is a threat, and if there is, to shut it down. That is, if you are still on our side.
I like both the original and prequels, though I do favor the originals more, and the prequel stuff not made by Lucas generally, like the Genndy Clone War. Oh, I love the
I want Jan
Tartakovsky Clone Wars series. I'm less fond of the 3D CGI Clone Wars. I love Star Wars, all 6 of them.
Thank you.
Here, here, all 6 of them. Prequel trilogy has more depth, but people miss it due to the aforementioned messiness on Lucas' end, which I think that actually makes the product purer. Like, the original trilogy might be objectively, like, better in terms of filmmaking, but I think that the prequel trilogy is significantly more pure. It's a more pure vision. I would actually prefer that. I would rather the movie or game or whatever, I would rather the product that I'm consuming be messier but more pure rather than objectively more easier to consume but more compromised, because that's what happens. Sometimes when studios compromise an artist's vision, the movie is better, but it is compromised. It's less pure. It's less of a pure human expression that is art. So I don't know. That's another reason I actually prefer the prequels. Kyle Katarn looks weird without his beard. He does. Well, he stopped shaving it after this game. So who would you cast as Kyle? I don't know. I've been trying to figure that out, man. Because on my second channel, I did a video speculating on what I think I would want a Shadows of the Empire Disney Plus series to look like, and I fan casted Scott Eastwood as Dash Rendar, and I want to do one for Dark Forces and talk about how I think, you can watch that, it's on my second channel, and I want to talk about how I would want to see a Dark Forces series be done, but I'm going to have to figure out who I would want to fan cast as Kyle. It's hard, because you want to get somebody in their early 30s. Johnny Depp is Kyle. He's too old. That makes sense, Evan. Better messy yet authentic as opposed to outwardly clean yet corporately hollow. True, true. I had hopes after The Force Awakens. We all did, man. That's another hot take I have. I think that The Force Awakens is worse than The Last Jedi, just because it's boring. The Last Jedi is an awful, insulting movie, but it's not boring. How do I use my, my items? There is a way. And I don't remember what it is. What engine is this game? In-house? Yeah, the original Dark Forces was made on an in-house engine called the Jedi engine. Only 2 games were ever made on the Jedi engine. One of them was Dark Forces, and the other was a Western game by LucasArts called Outlaws, which Night Dive literally just released a remaster of, like, okay, so that's not, like, last month. So that both games that were made on the Jedi engine have now received remasters. However, this being the Dark Forces remaster, it's actually running on the Kex, I believe it's called Kex engine, which is Night Dive's in-house engine that they port all of their remasters over to. Ryan Reynolds is Kyle Katarn? No, he's too old. Shit the bed? Yes, it did. The 3D Clone Wars had moments I enjoyed, but it was beginning of look at my OC, and my OC is amazing with Ahsoka. Even pulled out the old fanfic, my OC was BFS with the MC type. Yeah, dude, that's such a big problem with Star Wars now, is people introducing their cool, interesting, badass OCs. That's what Rey was. I told people that the sequel trilogy makes so much more sense whenever you look at it like a 13-year-old girl writing her Star Wars fan fiction. That's what it is, man. Star Wars began in The Phantom Menace and ended in Return of the Jedi and got its continuation in the expanded universe. And it's beginning, actually, to me, Star Wars begins with Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. And it ends with, I guess, the Fate of the Jedi series. I haven't read those. Maybe they suck, but I'm actually going to be starting a Star Wars podcast with 2 other YouTubers, and one of them is kind of a expert on Star Wars EU books. I'm excited to debut that, actually. Outlaws, yes. I remember playing this game as a kid, never beat it, though. It's actually pretty, it's pretty short. Look at my horse. My horse is amazing. Look at my cool original character, Ahsoka. My cool original character is amazing. George Lucas also fully intended for Ahsoka to die during the Clone Wars, by the way. She was supposed to be dead by the time Revenge of the Sith takes place. Like, she should have died. But because Filoni can't let go, she is immortal and time travels. It's I'm not even. I'm gonna get negative, and I don't want to do that. I'm trying to keep it posy. Night Dive is doing Dark Forces 2 next year, so it actually works. You can get it to work, but it is a headache. The OCs were also in EU. Yes, that's true, but I feel like there was a bit more restraint in how they were depicted. I'm trying to remember what to do. Like, you did have characters, Corin Horn kind of had that Gary Stu OC thing going on. I to a degree kept Duron, but Obi-Wan and Yoda were to be the last survivors of the old Jedi Order by the time of the Galactic Civil War. Well, yeah, true, except for now Cal Kestis and Sabine Wren and Satine and Balin and Ahsoka. And whatever that guy, from the kid from Star Wars Rebels, I forget what his name is. Bro, what do I do? Playing games is significantly harder with while streaming. It's like a streaming handicap. Because you end up playing it like a more modern shooter where you're just trying to find everyone and kill them. But you actually have to like explore your environment and like learn the layout. You walk into a bar. Who are you talking to? The Queen of Naboo or the Princess of Alderaan? The Queen of Naboo or the Princess of Alderaan? Well, what's the time period here? I guess it would have to, like, because, look, if you're talking about Padme and Leia, that would be impossible chronologically, and also you would not want to be talking to Padme when she was queen because she was 14 years old as queen. Thank you. Appreciate the blessings, fellas. I do be sneezing. Ezra Bridger, that was it. It was Ezra Bridger. And they go, well, probably neither, honestly. I'm trying to find my way off of... Well, actually, Naboo is kind of a paradise planet, but trying to get myself signed up for Bravo Squadron. Fly an N1 Starfighter, that's what I'm trying to do. Okay, good, we got that going. What did that do? That was the power generator? So I need to get back over there. Can I get up here? Oh yeah, power's back on now. Power's back! That little droid did it! I can make that jump. I can break these cuffs. Yo. Look at that. Hello. What's been going on in here? World building? Knock knock. Hello. Oh, this just took me back over here. I don't want to hear that. Do I have what I need? No, I need to find the Dark Trooper rifle. Where is that? I forgot. You ever seen a deleted scene of A New Hope, Luke talking to Biggs before he left for the Rebels and the mention of the Sith during the meeting with Death Star? Yes, I did, actually. I have seen that deleted scene. Yeah, there were 2 or 3 mentions of the Sith in A New Hope that were taken out way later. Interestingly enough, there is a lot of ideas that Lucas already had that he just didn't get a chance to fully flesh out. I was reading the original first early 70s draft of A New Hope a while ago, back when the main character was called Anakin Starkiller. And then Anakin Starkiller was later changed to Luke Starkiller, who was later changed to Luke Skywalker. The map almost disappeared there? It did. There we go. This is where the Dark Trooper weapon is. Concussion rifle, I believe. When I watch your retrospective videos, I imagine Kanan and Hera as Kyle and Jan in the stories. It's interesting. It is interesting to think about who we would cast in those roles now. Making some progress. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, the Dark Trooper concussion rifle is in that room. Yep, there it is.
Go ahead, Kyle.
Looks like I found something that can help us out.
Get back to the landing pad and I'll meet you there.
Have you ever played Sleeping Dogs? It's on sale on Steam for like $3. That's a good deal. Yes, I've played Sleeping Dogs like 4 or 5 times in my life, all the way through. I love that game. I've owned it on Steam for a while though. I love that game. The fact that it never got a sequel perpetually frustrates me. Oh, must have took a wrong turn. This way? This way? Maybe? Not this way. Probably this way, but that's... No, not this way. That way. That's the way. Sometimes you just gotta punch somebody in the face. There we go. Now we're making our way downtown, walking past stormtroopers passing, we're homebound. It was always interesting to know for me that Kyle was left-handed only in this game. Why is that? Bingo. If you could have either Night Dive Studios or Aspyr remaster an OG Star Wars, let's say in 2026, what game would you want to remaster? I want Night Dive doing Dark Forces 2. And I want Aspyr to tackle... Fuck, that's a good question. Shadows of the Empire comes to mind, but that might be better left to Night Dive as well. There's a lot of good old Star Wars games, though. Sleeping Dogs is going to get a streaming series. Apparently, it's going to get a movie now. And the guy from Shang-Chi is going to be the main character, Wei Lin. Oh my gosh, this is one of the worst maps of the game. The Rogue Squadron games would be good for Aspire. I think they can handle those pretty well. Battle for Naboo. The Obi-Wan game, Aspire would be great for that. I would love to see a remaster of one of my all-time favorite Star Wars games, at Rogue Squadron 3D. Yeah, Rogue Squadron would be good. I've only ever played the original. I've never played Rogue Squadron 2 or 3. I believe Rebel Strike and Rebel Leader. Never played those. We got Dianogas. Night Dive Remaster Redneck Rampage. I've never played it, but I have heard nothing but bad things. Obi-Wan with his iconic, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. How that game ended up that way is... What a special thing that game is. Would you like a Star Wars XCOM game? Well, we're getting one of those. It's called Zero Squad. It's coming out next year, apparently. It's just Star Wars XCOM, so we'll be able to find out if I'd like it or not. Because he's carrying a thermal detonator! Oh, this just took me back here. Rogue Squadron on the GameCube blew my mind when they launched on the GameCube. The first one, I remember it being a launch title and the graphics looking like it came straight from the movies. Really? I know the original Rogue Squadron I thought was only on PC and N64. I didn't know they ever put it on GameCube. Are you sure you're not thinking of Rebel Strike? The Dianogas, I remember, scared me the first time I chose the Empire. Yeah, because you had the gigantic Dianoga in level 10, I believe. That was scary. Did you ever play the Star Wars arcade game where you play out the big battles of the original trilogy? Yes! Long time ago. When I was a child, we had an arcade in my not my hometown, but the bigger town that was about 30 minutes north of my hometown. There was an arcade, and it had that Star Wars arcade machine in it. Star Wars arcade cabinet. But the problem is, that arcade closed down when I was like 10. And so getting easy access to that, I've seen it like 2 or 3 times since that point in my life, but I don't think I've actually seen a physical Star Wars original trilogy arcade game cabinet in probably well over 10 years. It's like a horror game. That's why I said Rogue Squadron's on the GameCube. Those are 2. Okay, they only had 2 on the GameCube. All right, that's what I thought. There should be a Dianoga that's gonna pop up and try to kill me here. Where is it? Here. Which prequel Jedi would you like a game based off of? Oh my gosh, all of them. Qui-Gon Jinn, Mace Windu, Plo Koon, Ki-Adi-Mundi. Any one of those would make a stellar. Whoa, whoops. What'd I do? Okay, there we go. This was as far as I made it as a kid in the game. I only played it as a kid at Chuck E. Cheese. Do wish they made one for the prequels. Oh, you mean the arcade cabinet? Oh, yeah, dude. crazy. Did I do that already? Okay. Can I get back up that way? I don't want to get all that again. A Qui-Gon game would be cool. You could I've always... The thing is, we need more, like, simplistic Star Wars games. I would love, like, a Diablo-style Star Wars game where you play out, like, prequel stuff. Not every Star Wars game has to be Jedi versus Sith. You can play as a Jedi and not fight other Force users, you know? I think it would be cool to have, like an RPG Maker style game almost. YouTuber whose avatar is a trash can with eyes. When he reviewed Obi-Wan at Xbox, he found a mural at the Sand People camp of a person with a sword striking them down. Yes, that is Young Junko. I'm a huge fan of his channel. I've been watching his stuff for actually years. I don't think he knows who I am, and I'm pretty sure I reached out to him once to collaborate, and he never responded, so I don't know. But yeah, I love his channel. And his Obi-Wan review is super stellar. And I also remember the mural of them all getting struck down. At the time, I think he said he believed the developers were meaning it to reference the player killing all those Tuskens. But it just happens, like, coincidentally that it does kind of prophesize what Anakin's going to do. Was still around, what do you think they would be doing? I can't imagine a world where they are still around, to be honest with you. I played the Star Wars arcade game, only failing at the Death Star scenario. Dang, that's good. I need to figure out how to use my items. There are some interesting little coincidences that pop up. Like, I saw a thing on Twitter earlier today where somebody was reading Splinter of the Mind's Eye, and it's noted that C-3PO gets shut down by Darth Vader, and C-3PO points out, he says, it's the strangest thing, he knew all of my codes. He knew all of the codes to shut me down, which is strange. No one would know that but... I don't think he said no one would know that but my creator, but it is noted that Darth Vader is able to shut C-3PO down without issue because he knows his codes. And it's not elaborated on why, but it's one of those hints where Lucas knew, even as far back as before The Empire Strikes Back, that Darth Vader had created C-3PO. Like, people and that's one of those things where it's like, oh, Lucas isn't a very good writer. Because why did Anakin have to build C-3PO? That feels like a forced coincidence. Well, no, because even before The Empire Strikes Back had come out, Lucas knew that Vader had built 3PO in his youth, as seen in Splinter of the Mind's Eye. Do I think Obi-Wan failed as a master? Yes and no, partially. The tragedy of Anakin Skywalker is that his downfall... You played or read Star Wars Republic Commando.
Star Wars Republic Commando.
Assassin's Squad 10, thank you so much for the $2. I have played Republic Commando many times. It's one of my favorite Star Wars games, one of my favorite original Xbox games. I love it. I don't think I've read any of the Republic Commando books. I always meant to so that I could get some resolution on the Sev situation, but I don't think I have. Okay, do we not have a quick save here? I guess I'm just going to go through all that again because I don't remember if I flipped the switch. Okay, so where's the switch I need to flip? I didn't find it. Personally, think Obi-Wan messed up by behaving as Anakin's brother rather than Anakin's father. Even in the film, Anakin sees Obi-Wan like a father, but Obi-Wan refers to him as a brother. I think you got a little mixed up there. Obi-Wan only refers to Anakin as a brother in Revenge of the Sith. He's trying to be a little too fatherly in Attack of the Clones. He's not treating Anakin as an equal. And that becomes a problem. But the failure of Anakin is not really Obi-Wan's fault. nor is it the Jedi Council's. I see people blaming the stinginess of the Council and Obi-Wan's harshness towards Anakin and all this other stuff, but the fact is, for some reason, people tend to not point out the fact that there's an actual super genius Sith Lord mentoring Anakin constantly throughout the prequel trilogy. How do you account for that? The Jedi Council isn't accounting for the fact that there is an actual Sith Lord constantly mentoring Anakin on the sidelines as the Jedi Council is trying to raise him. It'd be like if you had a kid and you were trying to raise him and you were doing things by the book, the way that they said, and he turned out to be like a crazy arsonist. And you're like, well, what did I do wrong? It's like, oh, well, it turns out that the teacher at his school, his personal tutor, was an arsonist. And he was teaching your child all the things about arson and how cool it is to burn down buildings. You know, most people would look at that father and be like, oh, well, it's not really your fault. You know, you didn't know. I think it's kind of a similar thing here, right? Thumbs up? Yeah. That's why Palpatine sent Maul to kill Qui-Gon Jinn so Anakin would have an unstable mentor by comparison. Good theory, but I don't think Palpatine saw that far ahead. Palpatine didn't even know who Anakin was at the time. And Palpatine really just wanted Maul to kill. He was still focused on the Naboo thing. He just wanted Maul to kill Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon. If Anakin was found as a baby, what do you think would have happened? There's a reason he was born on Tatooine, you know. So that he wouldn't be found as a baby. Problem with Anakin falling to the dark side was that he was brainwashed by Palpatine the whole time, especially with his fear of losing Padme. Correct, yes. And again, how do you expect the Council to account for that? It's like, oh yeah, well, make sure that we're going easy on him because he is being groomed by a Sith Lord. You know what I'm saying? And there is a common misconception, by the way, that Darth Plagueis and Palpatine created Anakin, that they conceived him through the Force because of the Darth Plagueis the Wise story. That's not actually the case. That's just a fan theory. It's a popular fan theory, and a lot of fans like it and agree with it, but that is not how Lucas intended it. Lucas intended that the Force itself created Anakin. So it's fine if you like the theory and want to run with it. Okay, this is the wrong path. It's just not the case, though. Dude, that Dianoga must be so upset. It tried to scare Kyle, and he just punched it in the face. Give it a solid quick left jab. Hit him with a left jab. Man, it would be so much more satisfying if they just animated a right hook. That would just seal the deal. If he went bop, bop. Palpatine was a yes man to Anakin. In a manner of speaking, yeah. Good, Anakin. Good. Kill him. Fuck! Kill him now. Do it. Oh, this is just getting annoying. Find my way out of here. Here we go. Where are they coming from? They're everywhere, man, I'm telling you. Do we know where Kyle was at during Episode 6 in Legends? I'm starting to believe he was in Space Battle of Endor, but that either Disney brain thinking if he was canon. No, he wasn't. He wasn't at the Battle of Endor. My understanding is that after this situation, he kind of went underground. Does the EU ever go into what Palpatine did to blind the Jedi during the prequels? I always took their talk about a veil blocking their futures, cited as to why the Jedi were gunned down. Apparently, that's just something that's a skill that Sith can do. Sith can shield their presence and, like, blot a Jedi's clairvoyance, which is that's kind of how it works in the real world. If you're around, like, bad people and bad influences and people of ill intent, it's very easy for them to literally, like, say the right things to make it hard for you to focus and think critically and predict the future. Not in a clairvoyant kind of way, but just be like, if X happens, Y will occur. Making you want to watch the prequels again? Good! Watch them. Start with Phantom Menace and on Revenge of the Sith. You'll thank me later. Fuck! I don't even think that's where I'm supposed to go. It kind of does look like that. You have 3 hours left to live. What Star Wars movie are you watching? Probably Attack of the Clones. That's just because Attack of the Clones was like my comfort movie growing up. It's not because I think it's the best one, but when I was when I was growing up, I didn't have. What am I thinking of? I watched Attack of the Clones a lot because I owned it on VHS and I loved it. Oh, this always happens. I don't know where the fuck to go. I flipped the switch already. Is this still going? Bitchin'. Hell yeah, you're right on time. Go episode 1 to 2. You always go episode 1 to Clone Wars 2003, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Brother, that's the way to go. Return of the Jedi, full stop. Also a great choice. Great choice. Return of the Jedi is a good choice. Honestly, there really isn't a wrong answer. All 6 are good choices. Well, I guess technically there is kind of a wrong answer. I can't say shit. There is kind of a wrong answer, and it's anything other than episodes 1 through 6. Cultured? Indeed. Like if somebody chose the 2008 Clone Wars movie, I'd be like, what? But anything else is pretty good. What's your thought of the so-called machete cut for viewing, episode 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 6? I think that's a great way to view it. I don't think that's a great way for first-timers to watch. Like, I don't think that's a good way to introduce the saga. But I think if you've already seen them and you haven't seen them in a while, watching them in that order is beautiful. I think it's a great way to do it. And, you know, the Star Wars movies, those are the kinds of films that you want to watch kind of over and over again. Unhinged? No, it's unhinged for a first-time viewing for sure. Dude, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I can't believe I made a retrospective on this game and now I don't know what I'm doing. How am I supposed to hit it? It's a moving PNG. That seems like it might be helpful. What if Anakin was sent to Utapau? What do you think would have happened? I think Order 66 would not have happened. And I think Palpatine probably would have been arrested and put to death. The only good and only Clone Wars series will always be the one created by Genndy Tartakovsky. I agree. True. You thought I'd be unhinged, watch Smiling Friends? Smiling Friends and Space King, the only two good animated series out right now. Ever seen the 4K fan restorations of the original trilogy? And along those lines, which do you go for, special editions or OGs? Do you mean the 4K fan restorations of the original theatrical cuts of the original trilogy, like pre-special? Yes, I actually have copies of those on my computer. I could pull them up right now. All three of them, 4, 5, and 6, unaltered, despecialized, 4K. I have a super unpopular opinion when it comes to that. I actually prefer the special editions. I think there's a lot of inclusions in the special editions that are stupid and that suck. But I think there's a lot of additions and inclusions in the special editions that are better. Bespin, the special edition iteration of Bespin is miles better than the original trilogy. And on top of that, the reason I ultimately prefer the special editions is because that's how Lucas liked it. That is how Lucas wanted it. That is, when Lucas went back in, he said, I prefer these. These are canon. The originals aren't. They're rough drafts. They're drafts. The despecialized editions, the original theatrical cuts are drafts. The final cut are the special editions. And they have a lot of stupid stuff in them that are worse than the originals, but they have a lot of better stuff. But I would personally, I would prefer to watch the special editions. Dude, I don't even know what to do and I'm getting lost. And I've played this like 6 times in my life. 28 is getting into Star Wars, so we started episode 1 and 2, parts of the Clone Wars 2003, so I need to finish it, watching 2008 Clone Wars, and currently watching the series. Dude, anytime somebody has come to me about getting into Star Wars and they haven't, I always recommend they just do not touch the Clone War, the 2008 series, because it fundamentally alters the way that people perceive. It fundamentally alters the way that people perceive the original, the prequel trilogy. Ahsoka and all of the additional context to the series is fucking... Okay, so I think that's where I need to go, but I can't get up there. Oh, yes, I can. I can't do anything. It's pointless. I like the special editions, but I don't like Lucas's attitude about it. The original crew worked hard to make what they did, even though Lucas didn't like it. It's fair for the crew to destroy the old. That's a fair point, but ultimately it is Lucas's movie. Season 4, episode 20. Let's go. I'm not a very big fan of, oh wait, Clone Wars. It should have been like Blade Runner, where there's a new cut and includes all previous cuts. Well, Lucas, that's not really how he works. He wanted his version to be there, and that's it. Ahsoka, Anakin's interactions with Obi-Wan and Ahsoka, they contradict his character. If you watch episode 2 and then you watch episode 3, that feels like the same character. If you watch the Clone Wars, it feels like a totally different character. And a lot of people, I've heard people say this, a lot of people believe that the Clone Wars 2008 Anakin is a much better character. And that's not... The Clone Wars Anakin is more mature, he's more nuanced, he's less whiny, he's less frustrating, he's less stubborn. He still has that anger, but he has better dialogue. So people are like, oh, this is better. It's not. His whininess, his angstiness, all of these factors that he displayed in episode 2 are explanations for why he fell to the dark side. And the Clone Wars series does away with a critical component about why Anakin fell. Which special edition? I personally like the special edition without the Vader no. Yeah. That's not a good inclusion. If you go on Disney Plus right now and watch the current versions of episode 4, 5, and 6, that's not the special edition versions I like. You guys know about McClunky, right? All right, everybody in the chat, sound off. Who here knows about McClunky? Yes or no? Does everyone here know about McClunky? Taking both into account makes him very confusing. Yes, super confusing, because he's not the same fucking character. I perceive people get annoyed by the whiny attitude alongside. Yes, it's supposed to be annoying. It's a tragedy. It's like watching Shakespeare and getting frustrated that the characters are making silly decisions. That's the fucking point. They're not cool movies, they're tragedies. It's a tragedy, it's a play. The prequels are a stage play. What the fuck even is McClunky? Famous last words? Yes, sadly, nope. Who's McClunky? Okay, so we've got kind of a 50-50 crowd here going for the McClunky pill. McClunky gate. Everybody's hashtag McClunky gate. Okay, so I'll give a rundown of it. Maybe I'll show it at the. I'm probably gonna be done streaming after I get through this fucking sewer. We'll finish Dark Forces tomorrow. When I'm done with the sewer, we'll go and I'll show you guys what McClunky is. But I'll give you a quick explanation, a quick rundown. Motherfucker. McClunky. Okay, what's a Star War? Good question. What is a Star War? So in episode 4 in New Hope, everybody knows the iconic exchange, but hashtag McClunky, the McClunky cut, release the McClunky cut. In A New Hope, there's an iconic exchange between Han Solo and Greedo. If I'm not mistaken, it's Han Solo's introduction. And they're talking about Han owing Jabba money and losing the shipment and everything. And in the original cut, and the special edition, Han says, I think Greedo says something along the lines of, I've been waiting a long time for this or something like that. And Han says, I'll bet you have. And then Han does his little, in the special edition, his head is altered to move, but in the original, his head doesn't move. That's one of the bad cuts of the special edition, but Greedo fires a shot and then Han fires a shot. For some reason, it was like in 2004 or like 2006, in a later version, a re-specialized, like a re-edited version of the special edition. Han says, I'll bet you have. And the screen cuts back to Greedo, and Greedo says, McClunky! And then he gets his head blown off. Why? For 20 or 30 years, that wasn't the CGI neck break, yeah. Han goes, I'll bet you have. Oh my gosh. But why McClunky? Even the head break I get, because in the original, maybe it was too violent to have Han shoot Greedo, whatever. Why add McClunky? What does McClunky add to the scene? They shot at the same time. Han always seems like I shot first because it's me. Of course it was me. I'm not going to indulge the who shot first dialogue in the big 2025. I think we're all past that. I think it stopped mattering a long time ago. But McClunky, that's something, man. That's something else. I don't know what we're doing when we're editing in Greedo to say McClunky and then die. I'm still content to say Solo is just a tall tale Han gave. I love that, yeah. I think Solo is the only decent Disney Star Wars movie. Everybody says Rogue One, but I don't like Rogue One fucking at all. I'm so tired of this fucking mission. It's always the worst. Before I turned it on today to stream it, I remember thinking to myself, dude, I'm gonna get lost in that fucking sewer level again, aren't I? Are confused because that's not the story he gave them, and Chewie ain't protest because nobody else knows. Surely, yeah, true. I like to think that the original expanded universe Han novel trilogy is the truth. The Legends, the Paradise Snare. I forget what the second one's called. The fourth one's called. The third one's called Rebel Dawn, I think. Dude, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here. I have flipped every switch I can find. Is there something here? Because I cannot see shit. Wow. This sucks. Can I get out this way? Bruh. What's up? Welcome. You'll regret the Blood Moon jumps even more. Nah, dude. Gromos the Blood Moon is way easier. Those jumps are not that bad. This is the worst mission of the game. It's not even close. Whee! McClunky. Hashtag McClunkygate. Happened with Grievous. Did Lucas change his mind through development because he told Gendy he was a Jedi killing machine? Gendy did that, but then later said, no, he's a cowardly villain. I don't know, man. I don't know what happened there. Holy fuck, dude. Where do I go? I feel like I remember it being this way. I feel like after you flipped all the switches, it's supposed to be here. Fuck. But I can't... Can I turn off auto run? What is that? Why am I sprinting everywhere? Where's run? There is a run button. I know there is. I know that there's a run button. Oh, there's goggles. X? Maybe there's not, but I could have sworn there was. Flashlight could have been useful in those sewers. Apparently it's this, but I don't have one. Because the mace crush, the second part still works when Dooku is training Grievous. Yeah, the mace crushing his chest works perfectly. So he can't move good anymore, that's right. The second it's the second pathway? Okay. I know it's gone up 3 times. He's the kind of guy who attacks mostly because he has an advantage. Against someone like Obi-Wan or Mace, the whole fear thing just doesn't work. True. Kiadi Moody is scared of him, though. It was there, auto run, was it? Did I just not see it? Yep, there it is. Wow. Well, that should make my life a lot easier. Okay, so it's in the second tunnel. Why would it be in the... Hashtag McClunkygate. The level's definitely gone up 3 times. Got into the sewer level without a certain item going through this area is torture. You mean the flashlight, right? Okay, here I am. Got some items. Oh, here we go. Alright, now we're getting somewhere. Shout out to Japio, thank you. Oh, fuck, it's the platforming. Sit down there. Die! I don't think I can make that jump. Looking for, yeah, we're looking for the Imperial, what's his name? Fat hacker nerd, that's so funny. Can't make that jump. Boom. There we go. Maybe I can make that jump. I made it. Fuck! Will this work? Ooh, that's nice. Ah, fuck. Yo! Leave me alone. Wow, his jump sucks. You really have to commit to a jump, man. And I can't do anything about that guy. Oh, good. I have one of you down here with me. Thoughts on Robot Chicken Star Wars trilogy? I like them better than the Family Guy specials personally. Yeah, I'm not a big Family Guy fan regardless. But the Robot Chicken stuff, I did think that was pretty funny. That's just one of those things that, you know, I feel like we all all of us Star Wars fans just kind of grew up on the Robot Chicken Star Wars stuff. It's so annoying. And there's so many Dianogas down here. We're almost there, fellas. Gosh. Gary the Stormtrooper. Oh, yeah, that was great. Do prefer Anakin from the movies. Even the one in the miniseries in 2003, my only issue with the Clone Wars Anakin is the voice doesn't sound like the movies. Yeah, the guy that got to voice him did a phenomenal job, but he just doesn't sound very much like Anakin. Palpatine whining about how much the financial destruction of the Death Star was. Yeah. So I threw the Senate at him. The whole Senate. Such classics. No, I'm not mad at you. Palpatine going down the escalator. Stormtrooper. 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 Alright, where's this fat hacker nerd? We gotta go see McClunky Gate. When you find him, it's just like a PNG of him, like, lounging. Where are you? Hello. Oh, there he is. Yeah, it's just a PNG of him lounging. That's so funny. What's good, bro?
Yeah, I found Mom Revis. I'm ready to get out of this mess.
You're the boss, Kyle.
Alright, fellas. Palpatine arriving on the second Death Star and going mad because of its suitcase of clothes. I remember that. That's so good. Alright. That's going to do it for the first half of my Dark Forces live playthrough. We'll probably finish it either tomorrow night or Wednesday. First things first, I got to show you guys McClunky. Alright, if anybody who heard me talking about McClunky a minute ago. Oh, shit. New dealer song. Hang on, let me put that on the side. Anybody who heard me talking about McClunky? This is it. We're gonna get into it right here. I'm about to blow y'all's minds. This is fucking real. You can verify this on Disney Plus literally right now. I cannot believe it.
I don't have it with.
Stream's over. Just about. We're gonna look at McClunky real quick.
What am I thinking? Even I get bored at sometimes.
I don't want to get copyright claimed.
My dead body.
See it. Thanks for the stream. It was good nerding out about Star Wars with everyone. Oh yeah, by the way, nobody leave yet because I got to talk about my upcoming Star Wars podcast real quick. So let's watch McClunky. Then we're gonna talk about my Star Wars podcast. You're gonna want to hear it.
Yes, I bet you have.
Why? I know it's not very loud, but why? Why does he?
Yes, I bet you have.
Yeah, I'll bet you have. McClunky. That was not in the original special edition. They added that in there.
Yes, I bet you have.
The original 2011 Blu-ray didn't have McClunky. Why is McClunky there? Why did they add McClunky? Everybody hashtag McClunkygate. I've never seen this version. It's real, verified on Disney Plus. On the video, I'm altering the cantina scene. Pray I don't alter it any further. Please, no, don't. No more McClunky. How many more fucking alien phrases can you fit in that scene? I hope my last word is McClunky. You're just like on your deathbed and you go, McClunky. And die, turn into robes. Hashtag McClunkygate, everybody. Theories as to why he did that. Dude, I don't fucking know. Nobody know. I don't even know if that was added in the 2019 version, then that's not even Lucas. Lucas sold that shit in 2012. Who and why? Was it someone at Disney? Why? Why is McClunky here?
I bet you have. McClunky.
Look, his little snout even goes to say McClunky. All right, I'm harping on McClunky because he knows it'll make us crash. I'm crashing out right now. Hashtag. I'm gonna make a shirt. It's just gonna say hashtag McClunkygate. All right, all of you are gonna buy it. I'm kidding. Actually, I might do that. That's really funny. All right, look, guys. As of this month, I'm starting a Star Wars podcast on this channel here called Starcasters. Evan Prince Presents, and it'll feature me and 2 other content creators here on YouTube, both of which are huge Star Wars fans like myself. All of us are excited to work on this Star Wars podcast. We're planning to do it once a month. Each month we'll be tackling a different Star Wars topic. Almost always, it will be something related to Legends. I don't imagine we'll be talking very much about Disney canon, but the other 2 YouTubers are Jular, who I have worked with on various different things. You guys probably know him from his like 10+ million view retrospective on Daggerfall, and Gabriel. I forgot his. I don't know. I can't think of his YouTube channel name, but he's Gabriel. He did this insane 2.5 hour long like retrospective breakdown on the new Jedi Order books. Hang on, I'll just find it because you got to see it. He's a very small channel, but this one video is just so good. You buy a McClunky shirt, bro. In your thumbnail, you look like Leon from the Assassin movie with Natalie Portman. Oh, really? Leon the Professional? That's pretty cool.
Novel. It proves how good a writer Greg Gage.
Yeah. So this right here. The New Jedi Order Retrospective Star Wars Expanded Universe. Gabriel, he's only got 405 subscribers. Go subscribe to him. This is 2 hours and 17 minutes of fantastic New Jedi. If you don't feel like going through and reading all of the New Jedi Order books, he did it. He breaks down each book. Look, here's Balance Point, Edge of Victory, Star by Star. It's really, really good stuff. He's going to be one of the 3 hosts. It's going to be me, Jular, and him. Go check his channel out. Watch that video. It's super good. He's working on another one for all of the X-Wing novels. That's going to be really cool. Hang on. Let's go watch McClunky again. Maybe I'll make a McClunkygate shirt. Here we go. Why? Michael, you're coming in at the end of the stream, brother. We're just talking about McClunkygate. Hashtag McClunkygate. Maybe I should make my donation the McClunky, a little emoji. I should change my donation to Greedo getting shot and it's just saying McClunky or something like that. No Half-Life 3 announcement at the Game Awards. Well, the Game Awards isn't for another week and a half, actually. I think A New Hope is the worst for changes close to Vader yelling no. That's Return of the Jedi that did that. You can get in contact with Lorne Connor, maybe have him as a guest. an older guy who's a big fan of classic Star. Yeah, that'd be cool. I think we're gonna do a few episodes, just the three of us, before we start inviting guests. We might look into guests after we've got a couple episodes under our belt. There's some other content creators I'd like to invite. I'd like to invite on. I know he's not. He's kind of divisive, but Lauren Connor. I want to have on Star Wars Theory. I'm actually friends with Star Wars Theory, so that's very feasible. I could probably, in the future, get him on as a guest. McClunky is my game alias in every game. You should. You should. McClunky is here. Post-2019. The only positive change Disney ever made to Star Wars. The only positive change. Right there. Been a busy day. Better do a quick hello than miss entirely. That's true. That's true. But I'm gonna actually clip my Dark Forces playthrough all together into one video, and I'm gonna post it on my new third channel called Evan Prince Arcade. I'll talk more about that later. When is the premiere again? Fuck. It's December 8th, I think. I think we're doing it. Just let me check real quick. I'm pretty sure it's December 8th. December 8th. Yes, December 8th, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard is the planned debut time. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So who are you doing a thing with? Star Wars podcast with two other hosts, Jular and Gabriel. They are both Star Wars content creators here on YouTube. Well, Jular is just a video game content creator, much like myself. He does all kinds of games. He's been doing a lot of Bethesda stuff lately. He did some really good Starfield content that I collaborated with him on. And he just released a stellar Alone in the Dark 2008 retrospective. He will be joining on to host. We're doing it once a month for a while. We'll see how it goes. Very excited. I'll be working, but at least I'll be able to listen. Yes, definitely listen. And, of course, you can always watch back the VOD. It'll be worth it. I think it's going to be a great conversation. I'm not going to reveal the topic, but it was kind of sort of trending on Twitter like a month ago. So there's that.
Yes, I bet you have. I bet you have.
What are your other YouTube channels, Evan? You can find them on my channel homepage. One of them is called Evan Prince Plus. It's a new channel. It's a baby channel. I'm going to be uploading like news and commentary stuff, kind of like Slop Tent a little bit. I need to figure out another video to post. I'm trying to upload like multiple times a week, every day if possible. Probably can't do that, but multiple videos a week, just short, easier Slop Tent style stuff. And the third channel, it doesn't really exist yet. It's called Evan Prince Arcade. It's up there. You can see it, but there's nothing on it because I'm going to make my Dark Forces playthrough, my first video. It's just going to be my live stream of a full game. I'm going to play through a game on live stream, and then I'm going to clip it all together, put it into a video, and upload it to that channel, and you can just go watch through the highlights, basically. You ever talk to Eckhart's Ladder? Does he run in your circles? I haven't talked to Eckhart's Ladder yet. I know Star Wars Theory. Talked to him. I'm assuming before too long I'll probably be able to be introduced to Star Dash. We'll see. I don't know. But no, I haven't spoken with Eckhart's Ladder. I'm sure I could. I'm sure I could. I might reach out to him at some point. That could be a good sound bit for you. McClunky? Yes, absolutely. McClunky! That should be my donation sound. And also, I'm debuting my deathcore project. It was up for a while, but then I took it down. But we're bringing it back, more polished, better than ever. We're gonna do we're planning to do a new song every single month for the entirety of 2026. It's gonna be called Crossglaive. That'll be another channel on there. It's up, but it's not. You can't find it yet because we're gonna debut our first song in January. That might not be everybody's cup of tea. Really heavy, screaming, over the top, like deathcore metal lyrics. We're kind of like putting together this little like fictional like universe style thing. I'll talk more about that later, but yeah. What? All right, guys. I should do a remix of that. I should do a McClunky remix where it's just McClunky for like 10 minutes, but like to a trap beat. I like about his channel is the Star Wars battle breakdowns he does of every Star Wars battle. I think I've seen one or two of those. He does good work. He's been doing a lot of news stuff lately. He's cool. He's good. As far as I know, I don't know very much about him. I've only seen some of his content. I've seen a lot more Star Wars theory stuff. Do you guys like the new thumbnail style for this video? I'm going to move into that style for my Dark Forces stuff. So I'm going to do Dark Forces 2, Jedi, and so on and so forth. I'm going to play through the entire Jedi Knight series. That's my new style. I'm testing it out. Let me know what you guys think. McClunky. Oh, dude, McClunky's going to become a running joke. McClunky is here to stay. Hashtag McClunkygate shirts incoming. I'm going to leave the stream. I'm going to go design a hashtag McClunkygate shirt. It's coming. It's happening. Let's go. He seems as frustrated with modern Star Wars as you are. Yes, I'm sure he is. I know Star Wars Theory is too. Thumbnail was cool. Thank you. Pretty proud of that one. It's actually me. That's not just a random blaster. That is actually the Briar pistol model. I photoshopped it into my hand. I found a PNG of it on Google Images. That's Kyle Katarn's actual Briar pistol. It's not just some random sci-fi gun. We're back. Dark Forces. Good stuff. Very exciting. I gotta get some Dark Forces music to play me out here. I'm planning to stream tomorrow as well, if all things go according to plan. McClunky every time a character gets shot now. Me too. Can we make that happen? I'm gonna go edit. I'm gonna go into the sound files of Dark Forces Remastered and replace all the death sounds with McClunky. Star Wars Theory knows Lauren. Okay. Maybe I will get it on the next stream at the opening rather than the ending. Yeah, I should be streaming tomorrow if all things go to plan. We up. We up. Get some Dark Forces music going. Well, this is a good one. All right, don't forget tomorrow, Dark Forces or Wednesday, depending. We got to go to Nar Shaddaa, Blood Moon, Gromos the Blood Moon, Nar Shaddaa, punching Kell Dragons to death. I think we're just getting started. Hashtag McClunkygate.